Hi, and welcome back to this channel, which has the aim of supporting you in your self-leadership. Today, we'll be talking about 5 signs of low self-esteem. Our self-esteem is our own evaluation of ourselves. It's our own answer to the question of, am I capable? Am I worthy? Am I enough? And there are some signs of a low self-esteem that are pretty self-evident, like doubting ourselves or wondering if we're good enough for something. And there are other signs of low self-esteem that are less obvious. And I'd like to discuss 5 of them in this video to support you in your reflection on your self-esteem. Because the better we're able to reflect on it and recognize low self-esteem, the better we'll be able to do something about it. And sign number 1 that I'd like to address is being easily hurt or offended. With low self-esteem, we most likely anticipate that at some point others are going to reject us. The logic is that I'm not good enough, and at some point others will notice, be disappointed, and then reject me. This, by the way, can lead to self-fulfilling prophecies, which cause people with low self-esteem to be rejected more, not because of who they are, but because of their anticipation of rejection. I explained this in detail in a video that I'll link up here. Along with this anticipation of rejection comes seeing rejection in things that were never meant to be a rejection. For example, think about the thoughts that spontaneously come to your mind when you see that a stranger is looking at you in public. We could be thinking that, well, this person is probably lost in thought, thinking about something completely different than me. Or it could also be, oh, the person is noticing my great sense of style today. Or we could also be thinking, this person thinks that I'm weird. Observing our spontaneous thoughts in situations like these can show us what we're anticipating. If we're anticipating that people are busy with their own lives, that they'll be approving or disapproving of us. Sign number 2, being overly self-defensive. With the anticipation of rejection and criticism and attack from others, people with low self-esteem can be overly self-defensive, defending themselves or reacting in an edgy way, even if they weren't attacked. This could sound like someone asking, do you know where the scissors are? And an overly self-defensive reply could be, why would I know? I never use the scissors. Can't you see how busy I am? Or someone asking, are you feeling well? What do you mean? I was working the whole week. It's natural for me to look a bit exhausted. Sign number 3, having a hard time being truly compassionate and generous towards others. And with this, I don't mean people-pleasing. That's something that we're usually pretty good at if we have low self-esteem, the ability to read what others want and then to fulfill those needs. The thing is that with low self-esteem, this support may be coming from a place of not wanting any trouble for oneself, rather than a true motive to help. And this will lead to different way also of expressing our support and help. If I'm motivated to actually find out what is good for the situation and the other person, or if I just want to avoid conflict and keep everything superficially harmonious. Why it may be hard to be truly compassionate and generous with others with low self-esteem has to do with the logic and mindset behind low self-esteem. And that is thinking that a person's worth, this can be our own self or any other person, depends on how well they measure against certain criteria, like what they look like, how intelligent they are, their possessions or knowledge or achievements. And when people with low self-esteem measure their worth like this, they're often highly critical, and they can be just as critical with other people, although it's usually something that they're quiet about. Sign number 4, passive resistance. With low self-esteem often comes the difficulty of really actually saying what I want, need, setting boundaries, saying no. This can come from striving for the approval of others in an exaggerated way, thinking that I don't actually deserve appreciation, so I have to strive for a bit more than others do. This again leads to feeling pressured unnecessarily a lot of the time. It can also come from unnecessary subordination, thinking that others are stronger or better for some reason, and I will just have most success if I just go along with what everybody else is doing. And the interesting thing is that this is often an unconscious process. So someone with low self-esteem will subordinate themselves and then end up feeling dominated by the other person, although the other person never actually did anything to dominate them. The person with low self-esteem was just never open about what they really want and inauthentic. In any case, all of this not saying no, not setting boundaries, and saying yes with a grudge can lead to passive resistance, which is a strategy of not doing something without actually having to say no. That can look like pretending that one forgot to do it, or it can actually, if it's super unconscious, it can actually be forgetting to do something. Or it can also take the shape of maybe exaggerating how bad a headache is to get out of it. And if it gets really bad, it can even be small acts of sabotage towards the other person. Sign number 5, feeling like we're living someone else's life. Several aspects of low self-esteem feed into this. For one, it can be the feeling that I can't influence life, I can't influence situations, I can't take charge, which is a more reactive approach to life rather than a proactive one. It can also be the fear of losing another person if I don't do what they want me to do. Or it can be doubts if my own needs and wishes are actually justified. Am I allowed to have this wish? And is it okay if what I want is different from what another person wants? It can also come from living behind a mask and being very inauthentic, feeling that my true self is unlovable, so I have to make up this persona of who I think I should be, and then constantly having to live that persona's life, and then feeling trapped in that life and feeling like I'm not living my own life. If you notice any of these signs in your life, it could mean that you would really benefit from reflecting on and working on your self-esteem. One place that you can start is by taking a look at my playlist on self-worth. Thank you for joining me today. Please share this video. You never know who could benefit from it. Subscribe if you want to keep watching content like this. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.